With the new trio FNCS announced, it's important for you guys to understand what to carry in your loadout in order to perform better as a trio. This video is going to be centered around each role of a trio and what they should carry. So be sure to stick around until the end of the video so that you guys do not miss any important information. And also consider using code SONATAFN in the Fortnite item shop, #ad. If you do stay until the end of the video, feel free to leave a comment letting me know. The first member of the trio is known as the IGL, or the in-game leader. The IGL is basically the one that guides the trio and makes all of the callouts in terms of rotations and various other game plans. In terms of what the IGL needs to carry in their loadout, the main thing that I would obviously recommend would be mobility items. So if you guys don't know, I did make a video on the brand new Season 5 meta. And basically in that video, I went over this season's meta of fishing. Epic Games did add 2 new fish to the game with the start of this new season. There's the rift fish and then there's the 0-point fish. The rift fish will perform the exact same function as a rift to go back from chapter 1. And the 0-point fish will perform the same function as a 0-point crystal. So I would always recommend that the IGL is carrying some variety of a rotation item so that they can plan their rotations based off of the items that they have rather than having to ask their teammates everything. Also, a good IGL will be able to plan ahead of time and get a better sense of where they want to go with the rotation items they have. The next thing that I would highly recommend that an IGL carries is the majority of the team's materials. Most of the time, going into these late games, the IGL is going to be the one who's tarping for the team at the start. Obviously, each trio has a designated tarper, but the IGL is going to be the one doing it for the most part, unless the tarper needs to take over. As I would always recommend that the tarper also has mats, the IGL should have the majority so that they can rotate for the team more efficiently. You guys also need to realize that in trios you have 3 people in one team, so if your entire team is maxed out in materials, you guys have a total of 4,500 materials. And that amount of materials is more than enough to spare if you manage them correctly. So the next member of the trio that I'm going to be explaining the best loadout for is the Fragger. The Fragger's loadout is quite simple compared to the other two, simply because the Fragger really only has one main role. A Fragger is the person in the trio whose job it is to eliminate other players for refreshes on materials and loot for the team. This is simply why the Fragger should have the best weapons on the trio. So ideally the Fragger should be having the best shotgun, the best assault rifle, and a sniper if they're good with it. And they should also really have the best ammo in the entire trio. This addition to a Fragger's loadout will really just help with the Fragger to get kills easier without having to worry about loot. The Fragger is the person who's not going to be attempting heal off, so what they're going to need is they're going to want to try and have the most shield in terms of their meds. Most of the time, when a Fragger is in a fight, they're not going to be losing too much white HP. In those situations, they're going to be losing their shields, which is why they need more minis and big pots to replenish that health. I would also highly recommend that a Fragger carries a more heavy-hitting assault rifle. Most of the time during mid and late game, a Fragger is going to be the one looking for those Storm Surge tags. And it's just generally easier to get those tags when you have a heavy assault rifle rather than a normal AR. And since there was a vaulting of the burst assault rifle this season, we now have the AK and the AR. I would almost always recommend to Fraggers to carry an AK simply because it'll help you be a bit more proactive when it comes to caring about Storm Surge. Your IGL and your tarpers are not going to be caring about Storm Surge, they're going to be focused on their own tasks. So it's up to you to make sure that you carry the correct items in order to prepare for different situations. The third and final role of a trio is known as the tarper or the support player. In this role, you're basically going to be tarping for the trio, you're going to be applying support by dropping materials, by dropping healing, and basically you're going to make sure that your trio is good to go. I'm just going to refer to this person as a support player. But in terms of what they should be carrying other than their guns and their meds, they should obviously be carrying some utility items. And when I'm talking about utility items, I'm talking about stuff like harpoon guns, medkits, and chug splashes. All of these various team utility items will not only make your team a bit more durable during mid and late game, but it'll also really help you get endgame refreshes if you need to. For example, if a player dies and the mats are close to you, you can easily harpoon them into your tarp. That's the advantage of carrying some good utility items. Obviously, on top of utility items, the support player is the one who should be carrying the most meds. A lot of the time, the support player is most of the time the person who's going to be playing the heal off if it does come down to it. They are also going to be the person who's dropping heals for the trio during endgame. With efficient meds, it will ensure that your trio succeeds in those scenarios where they will need to get efficient meds and heals in order to survive. Your trio is going to be relying on you to drop the meds to keep them alive and healthy, which is why you need to carry those in your loadout. Basically, the support player should be carrying anything that keeps the trio alive longer. Alright guys, that is the video on the best trio loadouts for each role. If you did find it helpful, please consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel for more educational Fortnite content. If you guys are interested in checking out my Twitch, my Twitter, or my Discord server, there's a link in the description for all three of those things. Also, if you guys like this type of content, be sure to leave a comment letting me know that it helped you out. But that's about it for this video, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.